Hello and welcome to the Holotable Games Network. I'm Ginger Joe.
And I'm Corey the Gray. I figured that would get you.
What are we doing?
Lord of the Rings, obviously.
What are we doing? Alright, Holotable Games Network, what we're going to be doing here is just analytics of games, concepts, and then taking things to the table and seeing how they all pan out. So our main goal here is we are builders at heart, and we want to basically take a lot of decks that we think are very fringy or kind of on the cusp, maybe your A tier, your B tier, but we kind of see how they actually perform in it. We're not the only ones doing it, but we definitely want to have the analytics for you to get that done. So it's going to be more than just your run-of-the-mill meta decks going on here. Other than that, we're also going to be looking at doing some color commentary of the different events and some analysis of previous PQs and stuff like that happen. So, Corey, what are we going for today?
Today we are testing out new decks for the new Legends of the Force set to try to get ourselves prepared for upcoming Galactic Championships in the very near future.
Yep, just a little under a month, a little over a month. I think it's like 35 days away at the moment.
Right around there, yeah. I finally bought my plane ticket.
Yep.
Long enough.
I got mine too, and it was a little bit more expensive than I wanted, but you know, it is what it is. So, going forward, when I first saw this set, I ran Cassian in set 1. And everybody dogged on Cassian, but I love the Saboteur that he had on him as a leader. He was the only leader with Saboteur. And I thought that was going to really help you punch in really solidly. And I did very well at some PQs, getting 3rd and 4th at a couple of them, and with Cassian, which is something that people were like, no, that's never going to happen. So when I saw Kit Fisto, I actually was like, okay, this is going to be the new champion for me. This is going to be the one that I want to get going kind of thing. And I was messing with him, and then I remembered that one card exists, and that card happens to be Order 66. And Order 66 does 6 damage to every single Jedi on the board, including spaceships. And I went, that's gross. I do not want to give any option for my opponent to be able to have a 4-cost board wipe on my entire game plan. So I kind of okay, instantly drop. I can't do that. So the other leader that I thought in this set is not Kel for a rush. I just don't think he's going to do the rush thing that people want him to as a 4-drop. I was actually looking at Third Sister. I think Third Sister's ability to give people hidden can cause problems because it takes away half of your removal interactions that you can use against somebody, which is using your units or using ambush as a mechanic to then get rid of people. So you're forcing people to have that hard removal in instant removal or damage removal like open fire and stuff like that. So within Third Sister, I was looking at hiding people that can push out a big punch, such as the new Quinlan. I hide Quinlan, and then I can push him out with a hotshot blaster or a breaking in with Saboteur to get past your Sentinels, and now you're taking 8 damage to the face on turn 5, not counting that's my flip turn for Third Sister. Yeah, so I think that can actually be pretty good. You sprinkle in some things like the Special Forces TIE Fighter, because now I can ignore you in space, hide the TIE Fighter because you have more units than me, and it's a readied unit. You basically turn it into a mini Millennium Falcon at that point in time, because again, you can't rush into it, and if I can throw a pilot onto it for an even bigger boost, that's a lot more damage coming through to you right away. For an in-game, you got Savage Opress that you can bring into play, or because you got more units than me, great, he's a readied hidden 7/7. Ouch. The other thing that I can hit with him is Kit Fisto, because Kit Fisto has Saboteur. So again, hidden and then just bust through on you. There's also some cheeky plays with Admiral Mahdi, hiding Admiral Mahdi, and then being able to then I dictate when I get to ready somebody for that double swing can be very, very egregious for pushing damage. So that's what I'm looking at running here for a Third Sister. Corey, what are you looking at?
Well, I will say, honestly, looking through all the leaders, going through this set, I haven't been that overly excited by a lot of what we're seeing. It's good, it's okay, but there was nothing that really called to me. That said, one that did intrigue me just for something that I thought would be fun and just entertain me is Kanan. I I love the concept of Kanan. The shielding we know can be very useful. Shields can be obnoxious for a lot of decks to deal with. Now this specific matchup against the Saboteur is probably the bane of my matchups. So the absolute worst I could actually play against. But it is kind of a fun idea. And for most decks, shields are just obnoxious. And being able to just keep shielding things over and over as long as they're creatures or specters can be pretty good as long as you can build most of the deck as creature or specters. So that was kind of the focus here. Let's have some fun with this and try to build something out of Kanan and make something that's kind of also a little bit more of a go wide deck. It wants to get wider, specifically related to some of the other cards, and try to just get a board presence out, go wide, Sentinels to get in your way for a while until I'm wide enough and I can just start hammering you in the face. The big card that really made this of most interest to me is the next card, specifically Doom. This is a very fun card. It's the main reason I'm running double blue. Because I wanted to try to get Doom to work. He is a very cool card. The fact that you get him out, that 2/7 body is really hard to remove. And then he just starts beefing everything up every single regroup phase, which is beautiful. So that's really kind of the key card. Obviously, aside from that, you get the double blue Vigilance, which Vigilance at 4 is gross. It's a very good card at 4. So that helps a lot. Very happy to try that. And along with that, I also got to put in my buddy Bendu from the original set, which honestly is a good Sentinel. The problem is most people are not running double blue, especially on the heroism side where you probably do want to run him. And on the heroism side specifically, if you're running blue at all, Obi-Wan was in general a better Sentinel. In this specific deck, because of the creature interactions and because of Kanan, Bendu actually does become a better Sentinel than Obi-Wan at the same cost. So this is the first time I think that Bendu has really been better than Obi-Wan. So that makes it interesting. On top of that, then, another key card that I think is very interesting is the Loth Wolf. The Loth Wolf is, that is a really hard word to say.
Loth or Loth?
Loth Wolf?
Loth Wolf?
We'll figure it out eventually.
Time to rewatch Rebels.
Yeah, there we go. He is a great just body to get into the way of non-Saboteur decks because a 3/3 Sentinel that you can keep just putting a shield on over and over again will drive your opponent insane. Who cares if he can't attack? He is a body that is in the way. He is a 2-cost, 3-cost once you put the shield on him, better than the Village Protector's Sentinel.
He's a recurring Village Protector.
Yeah, he's a recurring Village Protector. You can keep shielding him over and over again. So he really is kind of a key card to really just get in the way and be a massive annoyance for your opponent. And then on top of that, you've got the new Ezra, which I think is great, obviously, for this specific theme, being able to beef up that Loth Wolf, being able to beef up Kanan himself, being able to beef up Bendu, all of these different Sentinel, or all these different creatures and specters he can make bigger as he starts attacking is very good. So I think it's a fun deck. I think I'm going to have problems today with this specific deck I'm up against, but I have been finding testing it various ways. It's probably not the strongest deck out there. I don't think it's going to be a top tier deck, but it is a very fun deck, which is kind of a key that I'm really trying to focus on too. Yes, we want to build competitive, but also sometimes we want to just build for fun and just have more enjoyable games, because I will say the meta at times can get a little bit stale in this game. Well,
but that being said, it's fun is the key factor.
Yes.
And as a lot of people have been able to attest to, that have won PQs with some fringe decks, it's not a matter of it being the meta. It's a matter of you being able to play a deck more efficiently than your opponent can. And so a lot of it is just the reps and the comfortability. So as long as you have fun and enjoy the deck, go to town.
Yeah.
Figure out all the nuances of what that deck can do. Know what you have to do against the meta stuff, but don't know that you don't have to play the meta necessarily, and you can still be competitive in this game.
Yeah. So that's a major thing is too. If you're playing an off-meta deck that is slightly weaker than the high-end meta decks, you do actually have an advantage in they might not be prepared for you. If you can throw something at them that they're not ready for, you can win games just off that right there.
Yeah.
If they don't, I will say myself, I play a lot of control decks. You throw a deck I haven't seen before at me, suddenly I'm like, oh crap, I need to figure this out now.
Well, because you don't know what you need to save your removal for.
What am I saving? What am I holding for? What do I need? What is the biggest threats? I don't know.
Right.
So it is fun sometimes just bringing these, and yeah, you can definitely still compete with a lower end deck. That is the positive, I say, with the current meta. Yes, you have the top tier decks, but we don't have a dominating top tier deck like we've had in the past. We've just got very strong decks, but you can squeak out those wins against them. It is still viable to have a not tier 1 deck and win.
Right. Well, that also speaks to a healthy meta. So hopefully it remains healthy going forward. That's all I ask for.
Yes.
I think the biggest combination that you have that I think is kind of nasty is Ezra and then Doom.
Yes.
Because Ezra can buff Doom, and Doom buffs Ezra, and it creates like this vicious cycle of if you don't get that answer quick, holy snowball.
Yep.
You're done.
Now, I will say the flip side is you do have to be careful with Doom. With anytime you're playing a blue deck specifically, removal's always an issue. You like that 2/7 stat line. That's beautiful against removal because Takedown can't hit it, Fell the Dragon can't hit it, anything like that. So you want to be careful about beefing him up. You don't want to get to the point where Fell the Dragon can get him.
Yeah, but by the time he can get there, you're in
but
a
usually
very
by
good
that time,
position,
you're in a good spot. So
the other thing that Doom provides is like kind of like a pseudo Sentinel because you want him off the board. Even though he doesn't have Sentinel, you got to get him off the board quick. Otherwise, that snowball happens.
Yeah.
So that said, that's what we're bringing for you today. So let's go ahead and take it to the table, and we'll see where we go from here.
Excellent.
So I wonder if that transition worked because I was talking during it. So
yeah, that's a good question. We'll see. We will see. You want to cut me? I cut you.
Oh, yeah, you already got me. I got you right here. So.
Yep. And
bam.
Quick roll for initiative.
Yeah. I typically do a D100 just because there's bigger variance, and I get a 14 off of that.
That's a big roll there. Good job.
I think I'm in trouble.
I've got a a
6.
A 6. Even better.
This is what you get for taunting me on my big roll. Is that you get a less roll. So.
Incredible. All right.
So with this deck, one thing that I am testing is I'm running Nabat Village. Again, I mentioned that there is that combo with Mahdi that you can do in the early game, so I want to see if I can get that into my hand, because if I can pull that off fast, that's a lot of damage that Third Sister can push through. Yeah. So I'm also looking for that Quinlan combination with a Hotshot Blaster, and typically people run Nabat Village if they're looking for a combination of a couple cards to get together. So I'm going to try it out. I don't know if it's going to work. There is a Jedi version or a Force version that you can run with this deck that includes a lot more discard stuff. I'm trying to avoid that right now. And I say I'm running a bot and then I don't give myself the extra 3 cards. So.
Part of me wants to play this, part of me doesn't. This is a hard call on this one.
Okay, so this goes down for sure. Keep this, keep this. I think I need that for you.
Alright, this might be a mistake, but I am going to try to play it.
I am probably in a similar boat as you.
So how does this question for the filming? When I'm stacking these, you probably can't see.
Stagger them?
Yeah.
So if you're going to, like, again, I prefer these for filming. Yeah. So I have to put 3 cards underneath, so I put 3 cards underneath.
They do have the clear non-glare, so you can try those.
They do?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just didn't order those because I don't like
clear. For the filming,
But it does make sense for filming, yes.
No, but I mean, it's the... I don't care about the clear factor. All of my cards are in these sleeves for my entire collection. So when I'm in like a deck building mode, that way I can just swap things freely and I don't have to like worry about it kind of thing.
Yeah.
But the glare from this, if you'll have to pardon us because sometimes the glare is going to get you.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll figure out some other stuff. Like his sleeves have the anti-glare dragon shield stuff. So we're testing that out to see if that's going to help out with some glare stuff.
Yeah.
So, all right. So I got Initiative. So
you do indeed.
Here. I'm good. Are you good?
I'm good.
All right, swinging away. We are.
I guess as good as I'm going to get.
Going to space.
Going to space.
The Kylo's High Silencer.
I'm going to ground with a wheel.
Well, that's fun. So, force of habit. I should have said I'm hiding myself in space with
Sure,
third sister,
sure,
even
yeah.
though
Get used to it.
technically it probably won't matter, but you never know.
Yeah.
You could have, if you're running yellow, for instance, you could have had a fireball that you're going to throw at me at that point in time, in which case, that's a bad day for me.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I will take the initiative after that.
Yep, and pass.
Okay. So, draw mine 2. We're going to resource. Remove the token.
Don't love some of the things I've had to resource, but I'm feeling better about this hand now. All right,
Okay.
You got initiative. 3 to base.
3 to base.
I didn't have my tracker
It's
up.
like you're a psychic or something.
I
Corey.
just wow, I never expected that.
What?
So crazy. That is probably not legible, but we'll see.
More than you think it is.
Oh, okay, good. I'm
Now,
gonna do...
that said, I'm glad that you have a 30 hit point base, because those things annoy me when I'm playing against people with like abilities on their bases, and I just can't remind myself, like Tarkentown and stuff like that. So.
Well, I always I make it a point when I'm not when I'm playing.
You
Danable,
do.
I
Not
remind you.
everybody
Yeah.
does.
Because I'm not a dick. So it's really that simple. 2 to your base and discard, and that's mine.
Oh. That was... I'm going to hide a lurking TIE Phantom. Another card that was always a problem to put out in case your opponent got like that ambush or something against you, because that was one of the easiest ways to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Being able to hide this guy, so now you can't do that? Ooh, that's a beautiful setup.
And I mean, I'm obviously going to put out that lucky draw I just got.
Yeah,
off
I was
my
just going to
deck.
say, I didn't like seeing that draw, but at the same time, it's like, I still got to make the power play that I can make.
Yeah,
so,
that was what I wanted to see.
Yeah, I will claim initiative.
Yep, and then I will pass.
Okay.
I did have an alternate play, but that changed immediately.
As it
like,
does
oh, hi,
when
hello.
stuff like that happens.
That is exactly what I needed. Perfect.
Well, if nothing else, hopefully that slows down your alternate play, because your alternate play could have been like much more like juicy for you. So
Potentially, yes. All right, I'm going to do that then now. All right, good to go.
all right, you being double blue means I have a less likely chance of you being able to get rid of Darth Vader on the lurking TIE Phantom.
Yeah, that makes him a 5/5 right now. That is true. That is very true. But I can put Hera onto this.
Well, that's just mean. It's very mean.
Yeah, Hera was originally going to the ground last turn. That changed. I was like, oh, look at that.
All right, so 5/5. I do 1 damage. I don't kill you even.
No. I mean, it will kill me. If the lurking tie swings, it's going to kill me. Because it swings for 7.
All right, I get the raid. I forgot about the
Yeah,
raid.
it'll kill me.
Raid. But I die too.
But you'll die too, which is what I'm looking for.
Of course, that's what you're looking for. Well, this sucks, but I think we just have to do it.
Trade
But
it.
the 1 damage that I get to do with Darth Vader,
Yep.
I'm taking down to Quill, because I don't need it to kill your guy.
Yeah, that makes
So-
sense. Yep. That tracks. Not surprised at that. Oh, also we did this wrong. Didn't do my restore 1 for Queel. When I swung last turn, because you swung first.
Right, right.
Need to remember that. I don't play Queel enough.
Okay.
All right, now that you've done that, I'm going to swing in with Queel for 2 to restore 1 as well, and flip the top card of the deck. That goes to my hand.
Okay, I'm going to swing for 3.
Yep. Back to 4, or up to 4 now. I will then claim initiative.
Okay, I pass.
Okay. Gonna be at 5, you say. 5, 5, 5. Okay. What do I want to do at 5? What can I safely get rid of out of this hand at 5? That's the question. I think it's gonna be that. No, it can't be that. I need that. It's gonna be that. All right, I'm going to swing 2 into your base and restore 1. That goes to my hand.
I love that card. Second Chance on the blue Razor Crest is absolutely my favorite play in the world.
That is beautiful.
Because it basically creates an infinite loop.
Yeah.
That your opponent has a one-action window to actually break that cycle. Because if you put it on the Razor Crest and the opponent can kill the Razor Crest, both cards go to the discard pile, but then the Razor Crest bounces back to your hand because of second chance.
Yep.
And then as soon as you play the Razor Crest, you can bring the second chance back to your hand.
Yep.
And then if they don't kill that Razor Crest right there, you can immediately equip the second chance again, and now you have a 3/4 restore 2 space unit again. So it's pretty nasty for getting a longevity game going. Okay, I am going to swing for 3 at your base.
That's what I figured. 2, 6. I can't see this.
So this is my flip turn.
It is indeed. I'm going to put out Doom.
Okay.
Doom!
Okay. I am going to... Now, Doom is at the end of the...
In the regroup phase.
During the regroup phase. Okay.
Yeah, when the regroup phase starts.
So I'm going to hide a Von Regs TIE Fighter.
That tracks. Doom gets a shield.
Interesting. Okay. I am going to flip my leader.
Yep.
I am hidden.
Yep.
When I come into play. Also, another big thing is like, I wanted the Saboteur on the leader, but this hidden is again one of those things that prevents you from instantly killing my leader. Again, unless you have something in hand, but him being exhausted out on resources, I don't got to worry about that.
Yeah.
So it's now, if you had a unit in play, say that was ready, I also don't have to worry about that because I'm hidden at this point in time.
Yep.
So, from there...
So you flipped, you're hidden, I claim.
Yep, there we go. I'm going to play one of the new cards as well that I'm kind of messing around with.
Yep.
Which is called Battle Fury.
Okay.
Battle Fury is a 2-cost upgrade that gives the unit +3/+3. The key thing is, it doesn't care what unit. So I can go into space with this, or I can go into the ground with this. So it's a 2-cost +3/+3. But the negative is, the on attack is the unit I have to discard a card from my hand.
Oh.
So what's great is with Kylo's TIE Silencer, if that's the card I'm discarding on, say, the 4 resource turn, it just comes right into play anyway.
Makes sense.
But I'm going to put that on Third Sister.
Yep.
That makes her an 8/7.
Gross.
Since you put the shield on Doom, I can't kill Doom with this.
Yep.
So that was gonna be my plan.
That's the point of Doom, shield.
But let's just go ahead and swing 8 to the base from that. And I unfortunately have to discard a card. I don't really want to discard either one of these. But I think I'm going to discard Wolf.
All right.
And then I pass after that.
Perfect. All right. What are we keeping here? How's this game going? And now, regroup phase. Queel gets bigger.
Correct.
What am I playing this turn is the question.
We'll see if getting rid of Wolf comes back to bite me in the ass or not.
It may not. That's a good question.
Kanan's going to come out as a big 5/8 this turn.
He is indeed. With a shield.
That's true.
All right. I have initiative.
You do.
I am going to start, first of all, by slapping down Bendu in your way. Yes, you can kill him, but I'm going to slow you down.
That's a lot. That's your full resources.
That is all my resources. Don't love having to spend them all, but it's worth it to just get in that way.
Sure. I got another Darth Vader for you.
Don't love that. That's not fun. All right. Well, that's going to be an annoyance for me. Do I have answers for that? Oh, we'll see. We shall see. I'm going to swing 3 into your base and draw that into my hand. That's a good thing to see.
That's a terrible thing for me to see, especially since next turn is turn 7.
It is indeed.
We are going to So Von Regs reads, if this has 4 or more power, overwhelm, and it has raid 1.
Yes.
So with Vader there, it has raid 1 if it has 6 or more power.
Yeah.
Vader gives it +3, so it's giving it 6. So it's swinging for 7 with overwhelm. The overwhelm's irrelevant at the moment.
Yeah.
I do get to ping something. I'm going to ping the shield off of Doom.
Okay.
And then you're going to take 7 to the base.
That is painful. And that might win you the game right there, unless I get an answer in the near future.
So you're at 20 right now?
I'm at 20. It's not a good spot for me to be at. I am going to flip Kanan.
Okay.
Who gets a shield.
Well, I got some bad news for you.
Yep.
Because instead of Wolf, I kept the breaking in on Third Sister for 10 damage to your base.
All right, that's game. Yep. As I said, this is specifically the deck that this deck is not good against.
Yep. Well,
this deck is a lot better against most other decks.
Yep. I have other decks we can run as well. So
yeah.
Again, the main reason that I was looking at this is there is a lot of big butt units coming out in this next set, which means a lot of people are going to be surviving, and I think there's going to be a lot more Sentinels being thrown in the way of people from what I've seen, especially with like the new Obi-Wan that's coming out, which is going to see a lot of play, I can guarantee it. 3/5 Sentinel that can recurse their Sentinel all the time. Again, the Loth Wolf was a huge early Sentinel that was going to be utilized quite a bit as well.
Yep.
So I really want to look, again, I was looking at that Saboteur as a good way to punch in, because I think decks like Sabine, who is usually the aggro deck, I think are going to find themselves getting stopped a lot easier in the current meta that's going to be coming up. This is, again, assessment off of what we've seen, analytics going forward kind of thing.
Yeah.
Predictions, if you will. So I think they're going to have to come up with a different way of punching in, and I think the Sentinel, or the Saboteur is, I think, the way that you want to be running at that point in time.
Yeah. And I do think, I will say as well, I think just because of the number of Sentinels we're probably going to be seeing, the number of shields we're going to be seeing in this new set from what it's looking like, I think Breaking In is going to be the key card. I think you'll replace Breaking In, replace Surprise Strike with Breaking In.
It's 100% what I've done in this deck.
Yeah, I think that's going for yellow aggro decks. Breaking In is going to be your better card at this point, because there's going to be a lot of Sentinels just being dropped in your way.
Shout out to Rebel Resource. I think his Sabine Yellow might be the better way to go if he can actually adjust that one instead of the Sabine Green.
Yeah.
So you do lose the Wrecker and stuff like that, but if you can punch in a lot harder, a lot faster with that, I think that's going to be the way to go for Sabine.
Yeah, very possible.
Okay, so we're going to run it back.
Yep, we're going to go game 2. I don't feel good about my odds, but we'll see how it goes.
Well, you do have option of initiative, which...
I do have that. That helps a lot.
I think, again, it does help. If I don't have the initiative to be able to hide and then immediately take my next action after I've hidden, then that does slow me down. That is a weakness for this deck. And that's the other thing, is like you need to, as a deck builder, recognize what your weaknesses are and play to them. There was one moment last game where I knew if I attacked with that Kylo's TIE Silencer, I was giving up initiative to you, and I almost didn't hit you for that 3 damage just so I could claim that initiative, knowing how important that is for me to have.
Which makes sense.
9 cards.
It's going to be this card that goes down. Yeah, and what's the other card that goes down? That's a tough choice. I think it's going to be that one. Yeah, it's going to be that one. Of these choices, this is where we go. All right, good to go?
No.
Oh yeah, you got to do your...
I have 9 cards to filter through.
Which cards down? Also, another example of when testing, I will say that the reason I was iffy on that hand was I had Queel, but I didn't have anything until 4 resources after that. I capped it because I had Queel. I knew I was going to get card draw out of that, so I was getting basically 3 more cards before my next play. So I was willing to take the risk, and yeah, I knew that my deck has enough 2 and 3 drops that I could probably see something, and it paid off. So sometimes, especially specifically when you're testing, sometimes playing some iffier hands is a good idea just to see how it goes, because you're going to get stuck with some of those iffier hands after a mulligan sometimes too.
100%.
So It's good for testing to try it. That's why I was like, you know what? If I was playing in a tournament, I probably would have mulliganed that.
That's also why I like Nabat Village, is because it allows me to craft my beginning sequencing kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so it's not just like I mulliganed and oh crap, I'm screwed.
Yeah.
It's like, well, these are the choices I made, so I have no one to blame but myself for the most part.
Exactly.
So
good to go?
Yep, go ahead.
All right. I'm going to open with a hair on the ground.
Okay, I'm going to throw a wolf hidden just to get practice at doing this.
A wolf hidden on the ground. All right.
Wolf hidden on the ground.
I will claim initiative.
And I will pass.
Okay. Good.
Go ahead. No,
Drop
it's not
a
hidden anymore.
Loth Wolf in your way.
Okay, well, I do have Saboteur.
Oh, he's got Saboteur.
He has so Wolf is like, in my opinion, a very like unsung hero.
Thank you
from
for that
set
reminder.
one.
So in that case, I appreciate the reminder because I did forget about that.
Yep.
So in that case,
Wolf being able to shut off healing both when I play it and when I attack with it, and the fact that it's a Saboteur, in my opinion, makes this a primo 2-drop for this deck.
I'm instead actually going to put a shield on Hera.
Oh, okay. Again, I punch through shields.
But
so.
If you want to choose to trade, I'm okay with that.
Sure, and I will because you have Restore on her.
Yes.
Because that's going to actually slow me down from actually
And that's fair.
doing anything.
That was the point.
That said, on attack, I still prevent healing from occurring for the turn. Not that I think it's going to be
my
relevant
0 health,
this turn, but just so you know, you cannot heal for this turn.
No, my thought process, I will just kind of run through because we're playing testing games, is my thought process for that is I'm going to force you to either attack into it or I'm going to kill your wolf with it and leave her alive. That was the goal of the shield.
Sure, but in retrospective, looking at that, right?
Yeah.
You're trying to force my hand to kill Hera. You spent an extra resource, so you spent 3 resources to do that, right? Yeah. I know that you can kill him for free and leave a restore person on the board.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let that happen.
Again, I'm purposely trying to force your hand, because if I didn't, you might not kill him. You might not kill her. I wanted to force you either to do that or make the mistake of not doing that because I had
the Loth Wolf to then throw that after. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that was the goal, was I'm going to force your hand and then drop this in the way.
Sure. Loth Wolf doesn't scare me because you can't attack with it.
That's
now,
true.
if you were an, who shuts off stuff? Blue, yellow. Kazuda. If you were a Kazuda, now Loth Wolf scares me.
Yeah, that becomes terrifying at that point, yeah.
All right, we are going to hide our favorite Lurking TIE Phantom.
Yes, we are. Don't love that. I will claim initiative.
I will pass.
Yep. And that could become a problem. Oh, not anymore. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. So then we are going to... How do we want to play this? What order are we playing this in? 4 resource turn, right?
4 resources.
4 resources. So we are going to do that. All right. I've got initiative.
You do.
Loth Wolf gets a shield.
I will put a Battle Fury on the Lurking TIE Phantom.
Don't love that.
So again, it's not something that has a unit restriction, such as has to be a force, non-vehicle, or anything else like that. It's literally just a straight up 2 cost, +3/+3 buff.
Yep, that's going to be a problem. I'm going to drop an Ezra.
Okay. So I'm going to attack with the Lurking TIE Phantom.
For 9?
For...
That's gross. No,
7.
Still gross. Still
and then
gross.
On attack, I have to discard a card.
That goes away.
I'm going to discard a nice Kylo's TIE Silencer,
That's the
as
combo
stated
you
in
want.
the previous game.
I will claim initiative.
Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and play that Kylo's TIE Silencer from my discard pile.
Yep.
Which, by the way, that's going to be a problem for me to pick up. I got to pick up 3 of them. I don't have any
they're
of them.
pricey, aren't they? Yeah.
They're one of the more pricey cards of that set. So
Yeah. I will then claim initiative.
I pass.
Yep.
So we're drawing.
Yep.
I think that ship has sailed. So because I anticipate the meta going forward to be much more of a control, grindy type meta, That's why I'm really trying to focus on cards like the Lurking TIE Phantom and stuff like that. I think Chewie is still going to also have a very big place.
Yeah, Chewie's
I
great.
think a Chancellor Green deck running Lurking Ties and Chewies would be quite nasty to deal with.
Yes.
Especially with all the high-end green heroic cards that have come out this latest set with Yoda and Kenan or
Keen.
Huh?
No, what do you say?
What's the 7-drop that brings out another 3-drop? He was the voice of Jar Jar Binks, and now he's an actual Jedi in the world.
I don't remember the name.
He's in the starter deck. He's the 7-drop, 7/7 that brings a 3-drop out of your deck, like a U-Wing Reinforcement does.
Yeah.
It's a K. I know it's a K. I can't think of it now. Why can't I think of it?
I'm not sure. What is my answer here is the question.
This is also my flip turn.
Yeah. I'm not as worried about your flip, honestly. I'm more worried about that.
I put a bit of a problem in your way.
I have a bigger concern about that.
Because your removal don't work on it in blue.
Yes. Removal doesn't do anything. I've got an issue with that being in my way. That I don't love at all.
This is definitely an argument to be running Confiscates in your deck.
It does. Well, I mean, that's the sideboard card. Again, this is not a finished deck, so I don't have my sideboard. And again, as I mentioned, this is my specific weakness.
True.
I would have a lot of my sideboard for this deck.
Yep, that makes sense.
So that's where I'm like, this sucks because I can't cover my weakness right now, which this is my weakness. I have to do this to slow you down.
I was going to say, is the only other option just to race at this point in time for you?
I can't right now. There's not a chance of me being able to outrace you because you're 7 attack.
Sure.
That's too much. I don't have a race going.
And 7 attack means I just kill it.
Yeah, but
so it's a speed bump, but it's a slow down.
It slows you down for a round, which is what I needed.
Yep, so I get 2 back.
Yep. I needed to stop a round. Again, this is where confiscates, things like that would kill it immediately with a confiscate.
Yep.
I'm swinging for 3 and throwing a experience token
on your Sentinel.
Yep. Which again, I was also hoping you potentially could make the play mistake of not swinging into it immediately, and then I put a
shield on it. No,
it was going to be experience.
Right. Because
I could have made it 8.
Sure.
At that point.
Yeah,
so if you didn't swing immediately, which is a play mistake people do sometimes make.
Right, because they're trying to come up with something different.
Yeah, like they're well, I still want to get this attack in. How can I get this off the board so I can get that attack in?
Right, because they're looking at like, oh, you tapped out, so you can't do anything else. Therefore, I'm good to go with whatever I want out of my hand. I'm like, nah. Sometimes you still want to keep with the plan going forward. Kind of thing.
So that was the thought process there too. Is like I know you're probably not going to, but against a lot of opponents. That is a play mistake people will make.
Don't make that assumption.
That's
because
also true.
I have been known to get in my own head and just miss. Because, I mean, that's the whole thing. Is like when you have units like Kanan, like Ezra, that can make these incremental changes that messes with the math of what somebody's looking to do, and they don't catch it in time, it blows their game out because they just happen to miss one little minutia of a buff or something else like that. Exactly. So, yeah, I mean, the best players even do it.
Yeah. So that was the thought process there. That was like, that's my speed bump I can put in the way at least. If it dies, it dies. It's 7 damage saved.
Right. So you took 3 to the base from the Kylos.
3 to your base. Oh, well, I did my 3 to my base. Did you take your 3 to the base?
No.
Take that 3 to the base.
I'm a jerk. We got sidetracked with all the...
I was like, wait a second.
The experience of the Loth Wolf.
And then I'm going to claim at that point.
Okay, I am going to Third Sister. Again, this is just for habitual practice, not that I think it matters.
There's no reason not to, though.
I'm really taking advantage of your weakness.
Yeah, no, this is, again,
space.
my big weakness.
I will pass after that.
Okay.
It's like... It doesn't even matter. What are we going into? 6 resources?
6 resources. I'm going to get rid of that. All right. Well, positive side.
There's a positive side?
I drew another speed bump.
Oh, you sucker! You sucker!
I drew what I wanted, which was another speed bump to slow you down again.
Okay, so after what we just talked about,
yes,
the difference is now he has the one resource that he can throw a shield unit onto the whale.
Yep.
That's worse than the experience, honestly.
Yes.
So I think we are going to go ahead and, yes, take another 2 damage, but I'm going to
Swing
obliterate that Sentinel.
Yep. Which is fair.
Hey, you stopped 14 damage.
I mean, yes,
so...
that was 2 turns stopping 14 damage. That was great.
Yeah, as long as you can recover later on from this.
I don't know if I can, but it was something. It slowed things down, which is what I needed.
Right.
I am going to throw a shield out.
On Ezra?
On Ezra.
Sure.
I mean, I could double shield Lothwolf, but I know you've got a lot of Saboteur stuff, so it's not worth double.
This isn't hidden anymore.
It's not worth doubling up on the shields.
No. Okay, so we are going to put a Darth Vader on the orbiting K-Wing.
See, that's going to kill me. That's going to be the it for the game, honestly. But, yeah. I will then... I mean, I'm going to flip Kanan at that point.
I'm going to hide a Bold Recon Commander, or Commando. 3/4 ground unit with Saboteur.
Yep.
Again, the Saboteur on the ground is great because then I can always hotshot Blaster in if I get the initiative, and you instantly just take a lot of damage without having to worry about anything.
Yep. 3 to base. Kanan gets a buff.
Okay. We are going to attack for 7 to the base.
That's going to kill me right there.
And I'm going to ping the shield off of... Wait, so when Kanan attacks, does he put a shield on somebody?
No.
What does he do when he attacks?
Nothing. He's
just a vanilla...
He just gets bigger.
He's bigger and was shielded, but no buffs or anything like that.
No, he doesn't do any buffing or anything.
Okay, I am going to ping the shield off of your Lothwolf.
Okay.
With the Vader ping.
Sure. That is fair. I will swing 5 into your base. 6 into your base, sorry.
6 into my base. Puts me to 12.
Yep.
What are you at?
17. I'm in trouble.
Well, but the benefit is I have 3 less health.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but
it's almost like it's 15 to 17 right now.
Yeah, that's
which is
still
not
a good spot for me to be in with that.
So with you like that, my question is, do I just take the initiative here or not? I think I'm going to say not and flip out Third Sister.
Okay, I will then claim initiative.
Sure. Kylo's tie is going to hit you for 3.
Put me to 20.
And then I'm actually going to trade with the Lothwolf just to get it off the board,
that's fair.
and Third Sister dies again.
Yep.
And then I pass.
Okay. Did I save myself? I don't think I did. Oh, no, that's not going to... Can I get out of this? That's the question. You've got that much showing, that much showing. Is that going to solve my problem? No, it's good.
Yep. So I did actually have the hot shot for him as well.
Yeah. Didn't matter. Yeah. Again, this is where sideboards come into play. And that's really the big thing, is this is where I am very weak against that type of deck. And playing against it without having a sideboard feels terrible.
Okay, so then here's a good question for you then, for an analytics type of thing, and like a going forward deck building.
Yes.
When you make a sideboard, do you sideboard for the meta, or do you sideboard for your weakness of your deck?
Initially weakness, and then I start shifting depending on what I'm going to see for the meta. If I'm expecting to see a lot more of my weakness, the weakness becomes part of the main deck, and some of the main deck stuff gets sideboarded out at that point for the rest of the meta.
Okay.
Initially. But yeah, like right now, I literally have... My sideboard is 40 cards I'm considering for this deck. Like, there's no sideboard because it's literally just... I need to get the main deck done first, and then cover my weakness, and then start... Like, yeah, that's how I build it. I build the main deck first, figure out where my weakness is, start covering the weakness in the sideboard, and then start looking at shifting. Okay, I need to shift some of these cards into the main deck because I'm seeing more of those decks in the meta, so I need to make sure I have that for sure.
Right.
Like, honestly, there's a good chance Confiscate will probably end up in the main deck because there's still enough upgrades going on, and probably more upgrades with lightsabers and things like that, that Confiscate will probably be worth having main deck. But right now, while I'm testing a bunch of cards, trying to figure out what works and what doesn't, I'm just focused on the main key cards, not the... I know what Confiscate does. I don't need to test Confiscate.
No, and that 100% makes sense. I mean, I'm in the same boat, even with this deck. You saw it functions, but here's a little secret. this deck is 58 cards. So it needs to trim down a little bit.
Yeah, just
and
slightly.
There's still about 40 cards in my sideboard on StuDB for, hey, does this fit in? Is this a good idea? Like, one idea that I had that I actually drew it, but game was over before it happened, was I actually kind of like the idea, now I can't find a card, of Moff Gideon. So I can hide him, he's a 5/4 on 4, and then if I swing, all of your units cost 1 more as long as I hit your base.
Yeah.
So if I can swing in and hit a base with some kind of like a saboteur spell, like breaking in or something, then suddenly, again, talking about that math, your math of what you were planning on doing potentially gets blown out because you no longer have that capability of doing that.
Yeah.
So against control decks, I can run Cham Syndulla. Great. He's a 5/4 that I can sneak in or hide in, and then I'm gaining that extra resource so that I can get a 7-drop the turn after that.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that you can do with this. Again, I'm liking this because of the versatility, because a lot of units, I feel like in this game, had good impact, but not immediate impact.
Yeah.
The hidden trait allows that impact to actually potentially happen, because again, it's taking away half your removal cards against me.
Yeah.
So
I will also say there was some unlucky draws for me as well, because I do have more space units in here.
Sure.
I actually ended up adding the Phantom and the Ghost in
Okay.
to start testing them, and it's the Jump to Lightspeed Ghost, which is the better one of the two. I don't know if I love the Jump to Lightspeed Ghost. 5 cost is a lot for this deck, and I've got better plays at 5 cost is the big thing.
Yeah.
But actually, the Phantom at 3/3 for 3 in space, I'm kind of liking, especially once you start throwing shields on it.
Okay, but I still think that combination works best in Han 2.
I agree on that. Yeah, no, 100% agreed on that. But I'm just thinking like that's a better one that's like, also if I can get that out, that helps deal with some of that space problems too. Like there's a lot of things that I just wasn't drawing to get my answers, but
Fair enough.
But again, that's another side of this deck definitely has some weaknesses. Not pretending it doesn't. Like it's not the greatest deck, but this is specifically the matchup it does not want to see.
No. So
anything that can deal with the shields or is space heavy is a problem for it.
Well, sometimes in deck building and testing, recognizing your problems is a big factor in that. So then you can see where your weaknesses are and see what holes you need to patch as you go along, kind of thing. So.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, I think that's going to wrap us up for the first episode of the Holotable Games Network. Again, I'm Ginger Joe.
And I'm Corey the Great.
Still sticking with that?
I don't know. I don't have another idea right now. So.
We'll see if it sticks next episode. Join us next episode to see if that sticks for his name.
All
Thank
right.
you guys very much, and we'll see you next time.
There you go.